till others are joining, we can continue. Meanwhile, we'll add them, and I am recording the session as well. So if someone is not able to join the class, they can watch recording. Yes, Sasi, go ahead.
Yes, first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity, sir. Definitely. Right now, I am working in Vodafone Idea project, and we are managing the traditional setup. It means data center and circle device also. Right now, I'm working on this devices like 40 gate 1500D and F5 load balancer and Nexus switches, routing and router and switches like that, sir. And managing circle devices. So SD-WAN is new for me. This is the first time we have to interested to learn this new technology. Yeah, basic we have know that because in traditional connectivity, like we have to manage all the network through this one MPLS, lead line, all these things. But SD-WAN is fully new for us.
Okay. So why you are learning SD-WAN? Like your company is moving towards SD-WAN, planning to move their infrastructure there?
Yeah, definitely, sir. And honestly, if I told you the current scenario, most of the job once I apply, na, the first priority is the SD-WAN because
Okay. So are you
yeah,
looking for job change? This is my
exactly, sir.
actually question.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So you are looking for job change. Great, great. Definitely after learning SD-WAN, also you will add this skill in your resume. See, first of all, guys, if you will learn the Cisco SD-WAN, you can learn any other SD-WAN by yourself as well, right? Because the most difficult solution is, I think, Cisco SD-WAN only. If you know the Cisco SD-WAN, you can learn Versa SD-WAN as well. And those, like all SD-WAN solutions are very demanding. So once you will add it in your resume, you will see, like you will get start getting more calls for the interview. You will get more offers, more salary. You will see the hike in your salary, right? So great. So, brother Sasi, are you
Yes, sir.
perfect in routing and switching like in the traditional network routing, switching, the firewall configurations, those things? Are you perfect in those all things or not?
Yeah, so honestly, I'm not hiding anything. Definitely, I am in previous organization. 3 to approx 3 years, I work as a management part. So yeah, I know the basic, but I forget most of the things. But still, I am working from last 1 year in this organization as a L2 engineer and also managing the this project as a team lead. So I know the basic, but the routing part we I are stuck and like BGP and OSPF in critical like and suppose that if there are any critical activity na, at that time we have to stuck. Otherwise we have to know the we know all these things, and also we done in network activity like policy creation in firewall for source IP, destination IP. Accordingly, we have to for particular port netting part, and also we have to create any we virtual ip node creation, pool creation in a file load balancer. I know all these things. I have also the access of all these devices, and also routing part we have done the most of the time we have to in our setup na other static route only, static and this one static and default route and BGP also, but
Okay.
I'm not 100% perfect in BGP and OSPF, sir. So this is my backdraw right now. That's why I'm facing a lot of issues when I done the interview. No? So
No
I stuck
problem.
only routing part only, routing and switching part.
No problem. See, first of all, we are going to learn technology together. So
Right.
we have to be very honest with each other. Because if you will not share, if you will hide anything, it will be complicated for me to make you understand, right? So what I want that if anyone have any issue like in the routing switching or in the basic security like router configuration, switches configuration, firewall configuration, no worry, just let me know. I will provide you the resources, I will provide you the videos, best videos. I have created best videos for each routing protocol, switching protocol by myself, and I have keep those things for my paid students only, for you guys only. So If you will say, okay, Praful, I am lacking in the OSPF, I will give you the resources. Just watch that video and learn it. Because my requirement over here is to teach you SD-WAN. You should have basic knowledge of routing and switching, right? Because if we are going to discuss routing and switching here, it will be complicated to focus on SD-WAN content. And I want you guys should be master after completion of this course in SD-WAN. Because see, there are three most popular solution under SDN, under software defined networking, which is the modern approach of network, right? You can say modern networking. And SD-WAN, why people should pick SD-WAN first? Because SD-WAN is a part of SD access also, and ACI also, like the data center also, and campus area network also. Because WAN is everywhere, right? You will have WAN is devices in data center also, in campus network also, and in SD-WAN you are going to learn this only, that how to configure, manage, troubleshoot WAN is devices, multiple WAN is devices from one centralized location. Correct? So it's very important to be honest with each other. We have to talk first, we have to understand the requirement of each other, right? And as you have one-to-one support session as well, including in this course, whenever you feel you need a brush up, you need a one-to-one session, just let me know, right? I will be available for you. If you need videos for any other protocols or for any other devices configurations, you can let me know. I will make it available for you. The things is, you have to watch the video, you have to clear the those like the requirement of SD-WAN, correct? And here in the live class every day we will be talking about SD-WAN only. Today is the first class. Today we are going to discuss many things. Today we will discuss about the many technologies. We'll see why we come up with SDN first. What are the family members of SDN? What challenges we are facing in the traditional WAN, in the latency WAN, right? How SDN is going to solve lots of issues, so many issues, right? After that, you will see SD-WAN is a part of SDN, which is the most important part of SDN. So everyone, whoever want to learn SDN network, they should start from the SD-WAN only. First SD-WAN, after that you can go for ACI or you can go for SD access. Again, it depends on your job profile, where you are working. If you are working in the data center, definitely you should go for ACI. If you are working in the campus side, you should go for the SD access, right? Technology is same. Most of the things are going to be same in SD-WAN also, SD-access also, ACI also. Okay. So don't worry about the OSPF protocols or BGP protocols. See, I will send you some videos. You need to watch that, because my expectation from you guys is you should have basic knowledge of networking. First of all, if I am saying networking means you should know about the connectivity, how we are connecting routers, switches, multiple servers, PCs together, how we are connecting edge router to the internet or to the WAN circuit. It can be MPLS, broadband, internet, metro ethernet, 4G, 5G, LTE, right? Then you should have basic knowledge of routing and switching. Routing and switching. Basic knowledge. Then basic knowledge of security, like you should have knowledge about the VPN. In SD-WAN, by the way, we are going to use VPN as a VRF, right? Like two VRF cannot communicate with each other. In the same way, two VPNs are not going to communicate with each other. VPN, under VPN you can say you should have some knowledge about the GRE, about the IPsec, because we are going to use these things here. Then you can learn SD-WAN technology. Then leave everything on me. If you know these things, then leave everything on me. Now it's my responsibility how to teach you the SD-WAN. Trust me, you will become master in the SD-WAN. Even doesn't matter where you want to use your knowledge. You can go for the exam, you can go for the interview, right? And after completion of this course, you all will share your resume with me. Manually, I will check each and every resume. After that, we'll update that. And then we'll update your all job portal profiles like LinkedIn, Naukri.com, right? We'll target some companies whose core networks are based on SD-WAN, right? Will upload your resume there on the company portal. I have connection with many companies. I can also share your resume to companies directly, right? But what I want you guys should be able to do everything by yourself, so that in future when you will learn any another technology, because guys we are in IT, right? So every time we have to learn, we have to update ourselves, then only we can survive. Still I am also learning, right? So okay, Sasi, anything else which you want to speak here?
No, sir. First of all, thank you, sir, for your most of things. Right now, it's clear. Definitely, I have some confusion because I am not expert right now in this basic things. Yeah, but I know the basic things, but I know basic thing and also working day-to-day activity. But yeah, definitely, with help of your support, I will do that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. No worry about the support, about the, like other courses. I have everything. Just you only need to inform me. I will be providing the resources. Will provide lots of resources for SD-WAN also, and for the traditional routing and switching also, right? So, brother, like I have one question here. Let's say, see, this router R1 is connected with two different service provider. Let's say two ISP, ISP1 and ISP2, and customers are complaining that they are not getting completely loss, connectivity is still there, but these customers client machines are getting packet loss, slowness. Let's say there is some jitter on the WAN link. This is ISP1 and this is ISP2. ISP1 is your primary ISP. For an example, ISP1 is your primary ISP, ISP2 is your secondary ISP, right? Let's say on your edge router, you are running default route. Two default route is running there, one towards ISP1, one towards ISP2, or you are running BGP, doesn't matter, right? So as I told you, this one is your primary ISP, ISP1 is your primary ISP, ISP2 is backup ISP, and you have configure, or any network engineer have configure failover on router number one. So whenever ISP1 will goes down, automatically router will shift traffic towards ISP2. But as I told you, the connectivity is still there through ISP1, but there is some issue on this WAN link. Let's say there is reliability issue. Reliability issue is there. So in this scenario, if there is reliability issue, R1 is not going to fail over it. So if customer is complaining that they are getting slowness, do you know how to fail over the scenario? Can you fail over traffic from ISP1 to ISP2 by accessing router 1? Tell me frankly, yes or no?
Yes, we'll do.
Sasi, I am asking to you only.
Yeah, honestly, sir, I am not 100% sure right now. But yeah,
Okay.
definitely. But there is primary and secondary. In our current organization, na, our WAN link is directly connected with the primary and secondary. At that point, we have to fail over. But in ISP, I'm not done this activity, sir, previously.
I, by the way, I must tell you, see, 90% of network engineers cannot fail over this scenario quickly. Cannot fail over this scenario quickly. Cannot shift traffic from ISP1 to ISP2 quickly.
A simple way, can I say something, sir? In a simple way, simply we have to just shut down the interface which is connected with the ISP1. Just shut down that interface. Automatically, our traffic will be shifted to the secondary one, sir.
Let's say you have shut the port, right?
Right.
After that, also your traffic is not moving towards ISP2. What you will do then? And just imagine these customers are critical customers. Just suppose this is a network of a bank, Lots of people are waiting in queuing for the transaction. This is a network of at airport, right? Lots of people are waiting for the boarding pass. So just imagine the pressure on network engineer here who will be working on this router. And at that time, if failover is not working, right, there will be lots of pressure on you. So doesn't matter on which technology we are working, right? But guys, the important thing is where we are working, we should have the strong command. If we are already familiar with all the configuration on router number one, if we have confidence on all the configuration of router one, then we can easily fail over it. But what I told you, guys, in the emergency time, 90% engineers are not able to fail over, right? They are checking the BGP, they are changing the BGP configuration, they are setting the port. Then also sometime failover is not happening. These are the issues, by the way, in the traditional WAN only. Okay. So, Sasi, as you said that you know basic things, how to fail over, right? Like if there is two default route, I can set the port, right? Automatically failover will happen, right? That is the
Uh,
that is the best option in this scenario, because as I told you, the critical customers are there. So in this scenario, we should definitely set the port if there is issue on the WAN link. Okay, then anybody else who have idea about the failover in this scenario? What approach you can use here? Okay, if there is a
So
reliability issue
if
on
we
the,
monitor the port and
yeah, yeah,
it lifetime forever, we set the jitter and all these things, and we'll set the that port in monitoring for lifetime forever. Then it will monitor, and we will already have a route prepared on the secondary one. So naturally, since it's secondary, it will move to secondary.
great. Okay, what's your name?
Sir, a week.
Avik. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so I'm done with the Sasi introduction. Now tell me, bro, about yourself. Where are you working? Sasi, you said you are working on traditional WAN, right? In the data center, I think. On the Nexus devices,
yeah,
14.8 firewall, and some routers are there, switches are there, correct?
right. And F5 load balancer also there.
Load balancer, F5 load balancers are also there. Okay. Any other networking devices like
Yeah, yeah.
mugs?
Yeah, Mux. Yeah, the in circle devices now they are. It means we are managing overall the Vodafone devices. Vodafone all the devices for management purpose. It means all the microwave and this one fiber nodes now. They are connected with the DCN router, DCN switches, and we provide the management for all these nodes. So
Okay.
in circle devices, they are connected with the MPLS, and between in circle OSPF running through OSPF, we connected all these devices in circle, and in one domain to another domain, one BGP is connected. Actually, there are three domain here: SNOC, DCN, IT, and FLDS. So there are three main partner. They are managing overall the Vodafone network.
Okay. And how many branches are there?
The main basically three branches, main three data center, which is Ahmedabad, Mumbai, and Chennai, and the office is Pune, this one, and Hyderabad. Main office is Pune and Hyderabad.
And where are you sitting?
Right now I'm sitting in Kamarjan, Pune office, sir.
Pune office. Okay, okay. Great. And I think you are following me on YouTube, right?
Yeah, definitely, sir.
Okay. So are you learning there?
Yeah, definitely, sir. That's why I'm 100% confident. Whatever I have, it means whatever the point I am missing now,
Okay.
definitely with after connected with you, we have to fulfill. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, 100% sure. If I am promising X, definitely I will try to deliver 5X in the class.
Yes, yes, sir. Because when I joined this company 1 year back now, the main backdrop of this organization, no one is support to anyone.
Okay.
It's my experience from last 1 year.
Yes, yes, it's happening in IT.
Yeah.
I can
People know,
understand.
people know that, but they just so like that. Yeah, they just make the dependency itself.
Correct, correct, correct. By the way, this is one also reason of using SD-WAN. Like in SD-WAN, automatically, like in the traditional WAN, if there is packet loss or reliability issue, jitter issue, then failover will not happen. But in SD-WAN, router can automatically failover towards ISP2 if there is jitter. We can configure the scenario. Like if the delay is going below to this certain level, then failover it. Like that. Yes. Yes, second. Yeah, now who want to speak? Please speak one by one, everyone. I want introduction from you all so that we can know each other. Definitely, we have lots of time for the SD-WAN. Daily, we are like in every weekend, we are going to meet live for 3 hours, 6 hours in a week, 3 hours a day.
Okay, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Christian. I'm in United States. I'm in Texas. I'm a network engineer and I work for Cisco, but I've been laid off, so I only have like 1 month left. So I wanted to take this opportunity to focus on SD-WAN because I'm in the market right now, and most of the requirements are SD-WAN. So I wanted to take this time off that I have to focus more on SD-WAN to be more valuable. So
Okay,
regarding networking knowledge, I can say I'm good, but I'm not expert on routing and switches, but I'm good. I can find a way to find a solution if I have to. Regarding security, I'm not really. So because you say like VPN, GRE, IPsec is also on my list. Learning how to configure like basic stuff like site to site IPsec tunnel. So I've been watching video, but I'm looking also for a mentor. Sometimes just doing by yourself and without someone telling you like, yeah, this is the way to do it is sometimes it's hard. That's why I sign up for this course, so that way I can also speed up the process. And I have my lab set up for SD-WAN, even though it's not working yet. But I just wanted to have something so that way I can make sure that I'm doing well. Thank you.
okay. So you said you are working in Cisco. Am I right?
Yes, I'm working with Cisco on the service provider side,
Okay,
and then my focus is more on or was more on iOS XR. So I did project with Verizon, which was like some of the span integration, like because they had like a border leaf and then they have like access leaf, so we wanted to integrate spine in the middle. One
okay.
of Yeah, that was
Have you
my
ever
focus
worked on
on
iOS or XC?
XCS. I did XC, I did XR, I did a couple of Nexus. Yes,
Okay, great. Nexus also.
yes.
Wow, great, great man. Okay, let me ask you one question. Just one question. Let's say one router is learning some route from the OSPF routing protocol. Some routes with symbol O, some with OIA, some with N1, N2, or before N1, N2, E1, and E2. There is one route 10.1.1.0/24. One route with this all symbol. So OSPF will prefer which one? This subnet is learning from same area as well, from inter area as well, from E1 external, E2 external type 1, external type 2, NSS area 1, NSS 2. OSPF will prefer which one?
We go for the internal one first.
This one. And if this one is not there,
Maybe type 3.
this one. Inter area. Then
Yeah,
E1,
maybe
then E2, then N1, N2. Okay, fine. So you know the basic routing and switching, right?
yeah, kind of.
Okay, okay, great. We'll see if you know. I will feel any time that you guys need brush up for any routing protocol or in the switching or anywhere, like from this section, from the requirement section, I will provide you the resource video. You only need to watch. Okay, in very less time you can learn the the IPsec, routing protocols, switching protocols, VPN, those things. Those are the private videos. I will share the link. You can access those, right?
Okay.
Anything else? Do you want to speak here?
Mm, I'm good.
All good?
Yes.
Okay, then next.
Yeah, hi sir. Baldev this side.
Yes,
Thank you very much, sir, for
most
provide this
welcome.
course. Actually, I have watching your lot of video routing, switching,
Yeah,
so that
lots of videos on routing and switchings are only available on the channel, by the way, till now.
so that it's SD-WAN. It is market demand, so that I will join the classes.
So that's why you have
As
joined,
of
correct?
yeah, as of now, I'm working at Accenture
Okay,
and looking their routing, switching, and WLC,
okay,
but not good in somewhere protocols. But I have basic ideas, all protocols, BGP, OSPF, and VPN, STP, like RSTP, MSTP, HSRP, and I like.
wow, great. The good thing is, I think most of you are working professional. Even all of you are working professional here. Some people have not joined. This is the first class. Maybe from tomorrow, those guys will also join. And I think all are the working professional only. So we can learn from each other. Right? Definitely, everyone have some unique skills.
Yeah, I'm a learner. I'm every day learning something. As like YouTube, go to YouTube and somewhere watching the
Okay.
videos. So just that.
Great, great. So you feel you are good in the basic networking, routing, switching, like the VPN, GRE, IPsec. Not even the
Uh,
IPsec.
IP second year is not good.
Okay, basic security you can say, because security,
Yeah,
quality of service, these are the part of SD-WAN. By the way, security is already integrated in SD-WAN, but again, additionally also we can configure the security. Right? Soon I
okay.
am going to show you the syllabus. You will see SD-WAN is a very secure network. The guys most biggest issue with connecting two sides through internet is what? Security only, because internet is not secure, right? Security is
Yeah,
the
yeah, right.
biggest issue, but SD-WAN is very secure. Okay, we'll see the syllabus. Anything else, brother?
No, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, 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 then yes. Who is the next? There was five student, two, four, five. A week.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, sir, currently I'm working in the company where my main job is to a little bit of designing the architecture, not completely, but many times designing the architecture and after that configuring the devices for different companies.
I think you are already working on SD-WAN only.
Previously, I have worked in Velo Cloud, a little bit in Silver Brick, and last in Bajaj, I have worked in SD-WAN, mainly with the C edges. But
Okay.
I have worked, but I do forget all the things,
Okay, no
so I just
problem.
joined.
Okay, okay. And now where you are working now?
Yes. I am currently working in Bangalore, and I just want to come back to Pune once again. Because my family is out here in Pune and I am going there. But I took the opportunity only because since I am going to multiple companies and every time I am getting devices to configure from the very beginning. So that's why I took it. But right now I want to come back to Pune once again.
Great. And definitely you can, after the course, you can go for the job change and easily you can crack the interview as well, right? So just target the company where you want to see yourself.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes, sir.
So you are also working professional. Great. Anything else about you?
No, sir. I'm just working with Fortinet, Cisco, Firepower, that is ASA 2000 series, 4000 series, Nexus, Aruba from 6400 series to 8300 series as like HP, ProCurve, some bit of MyPU, Brocade, Ruckus, like on all devices, Sophos, Palo Alto,
So first
Checkpoint.
also.
Yes,
Great.
right
So first
now,
firewall.
right. Yes.
Okay.
So for one institute, I did it for Sophos Firewall. So, mm, like all like since I do not work for a single company, so since I work for multiple companies, I get multiple devices to work on.
Yeah. Similar like me.
Yes, so that's why only I changed this job because out here everything was fixed, only working with Nexus and ICE and this ASA. So after changing, now I'm getting all sort of devices to work on. So that's why like I'm working over here.
Great. Okay, then you
Uh,
are already familiar with these all, like the networking, routing, switching, and VPN GRE.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes.
So I recently also configured one AD, that is Azure with this Fortinet.
Okay, so you
This is
know the
first time
basic
I did.
cloud as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Actually,
Uh,
SD-WAN or SDN is a combination of multiple technologies. Like here we need to learn some virtualization as well, some cloud as well. Like not you need to master the cloud, but you have to understand how to get VPC, what is VPC, how to run instances, how to deploy your controllers there on the cloud, right? So basic cloud is required, basic virtualization is required because everything is virtual here. We are like your controllers vmanage or the manager or vs vbond or you can say validator or vsmart or controller. These are the virtual appliance. So we are going to deploy it in the virtualization. So we need some basic knowledge of virtualization as well.
that also, sir, I did like 40 analyzer. I created the in over ESXi. I created a 40 analyzer VM, then communicated with the hardware device, physical device with that for the logs.
Great.
So virtualization also I did.
Great. And if anyone don't know about the virtualization, don't worry. But as I told you, basic virtualization like type 1, type 2, what is type 1 hypervisor, type 2 hypervisor, how to create machines, VMs there on a single hardware, how we can create multiple VM, right? And we'll perform the lab for everything, okay? Because we are going to deploy all the controllers step by step, right? So as I told you, after completion of this course, you can learn other SD-WAN by yourself, right? You don't need training. If you want to go for Versa, you can learn it by yourself. You don't need to go for the training. Okay. Great, Avik.
And sir, we will see Miraki as well out here or not?
No, we'll not cover the Miraki, but definitely we'll touch it.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Valdev,
Yeah, yes, sir.
have you shared your experience?
I have already told, sir.
Okay, great. So is there anyone who have notes here? Nisar. Nisar. Nisar, you are not audible. I think you are on mute. Check your mic. Something. Okay, so Nisar, I am not able to. You are actually not audible. We are not able to listen you. No problem. We can talk on call. Okay, if I am audible to you, try to focus on content. We'll discuss. So guys, introduction is done. We all are working professional here. That is a great thing. And some more people are there in the group who will join maybe next class from the tomorrow. So we'll have the discussion intro like during the entire session. No worry about that. Now let's begin our agenda. So we are going to learn SD-WAN. First of all, we are going to talk about the exam. So if anyone want to go for exam after the training, right, and the exam and syllabus, what will be the exam code, cost, duration. So let me show you here where you can find the exam details. In the any browser guys, in any browser you can type the exam code of SD-WAN, which is, anyone know the exam code? 300 415 is the exam code. And guys, one thing I must tell you, see, if you are learning the SD-WAN, if you know the SD-WAN, it is not going to help you only to pass SD-WAN exam. It is going to help you in CCI lab exam also, in core exam, right? So the syllabus of SD-WAN in CCI lab exam is also exactly same. If you know here how to deploy the controller, how to configure the controllers, how to deploy the routers, how to configure the routers, it is going to help you in CCI lab exam also. There you don't need to learn SD-WAN again, right? So this is the exam code of SD-WAN, right? After that you can type ENSW SDWI, right? Just hit enter. Go to first link, this link. Here I think in another browser I have already logged in. Let me check. Recently I had checked that. Yes, this one. Implementing Cisco SD-WAN solution. Duration of exam is 90 minutes. Cost is only 300 USD dollars. So if you have knowledge, you can go for the certification, because if you have certification, and guys, I am damn sure after this training you can pass the exam, right? Because soon I am going to show you the syllabus is very easy, right? Anyone can pass the exam by learning it, right? So if you have knowledge, you should go for certification. So also will add the certification in your resume. It is going to help you to grow your professional life exponentially, right? So if you have like good knowledge of CCNA, go for CCNA certificate. Try to gather multiple global certificates, and right, which will help you. Then you can review the exam topics. Here you can schedule the exam, schedule an exam. Now we are not going to schedule the exam. Let's see the exam overview. So guys, see, 6 sections are there for the entire SD-WAN exam syllabus. SD-WAN architecture, first of all, definitely we are going to learn SD-WAN architecture only, right? There are multiple ways to connect multiple sites together, multiple way to deploy the controllers, routers, right? Like as you know, we can deploy it on our own server on premises in the data center or in the headquarters. We can deploy it on the cloud, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. After that, once we are done with the architecture, we'll see the deployment. So this week is completely architecture, completely based on architecture. This week we are going to focus on architecture section only. In next week we are going to see the deployment, controllers deployment, right? Like how to configure the root CA server, and we'll see the multiple option like on the Windows server also and on Cisco routers also. If you have Cisco Smart account, I will show you how you can create the automatic key as well, certificate as well, right? So in the deployment, if I will talk about the sequence of deployment, so first we'll deploy the controllers. We are going to first deploy controllers in our own data center on the server. So on physical hardware we are going to run ESXi latest version 8 version on the physical server, and on ESXi we'll deploy the controllers, right? Which controllers? vManage, vSmart, vBond. After that we are going to deploy routers. Routers means WAN edge devices. It will be VH and CH. Right? In the architecture, architecture section, we'll see the naming as well. Like earlier it was Viptela vManage. V stands for what? Viptela. Viptela vSmart. Viptela vBond. Correct? But in 2023 Cisco has renamed it, right? Now the name is different. Like if you have the knowledge about the DNA center, so nowadays what we are saying, Catalyst Center to DNA center. Routing, we are saying Catalyst routing. Switching, Catalyst switching. Correct? Catalyst wireless. So Cisco has renaming their all devices. So under controller, under deployment, first we are going to deploy controllers, then we are going to deploy routers, means WAN edge devices. So this is the different section. Edge router deployment. After that, guys, policies. Under policies, see, in the architecture you are going to learn the connectivity, how we are going to connect multiple sites together, what are the possible ways, right? How to ready the blueprint for your organization. Under deployment, we are going to deploy the controllers. Under router deployment, we are going to deploy the router. After that, we'll make reachability between controllers and routers. Let's say this is my data center, DC. In the data center, I have installed, I have deployed all the controllers. Now I have multiple branches across the globe, right? So at each branch, we are going to deploy routers. At some branch, let's say at headquarters, we have multiple VAs or CAs, right? Like this. Then we are going to connect it through internet or MPLS or broadband, like this. After that, we are going to make reachability between controllers and routers. Once these routers are able to communicate with these controllers, right? This is the first requirement. First of all, we have to make reachability here, right? So that's why I'm saying basic routing and switching is required, guys, for the connectivity, for the reachability between controllers and routers. WAN edge devices. WAN edge devices are the data plane completely, and controllers are the control plane. In the traditional networking, both data plane and control plane and management plane, all the planes resides inside a single device. But in SD-WAN, not I am talking about the SD-WAN. If I am talking about the SD-WAN, that means I am talking about the family. And SD-WAN is a family member, right? So in the SDN, control plane is removed from the data plane. So control plane is at different location, data plane is at different location. So let's suppose this is internet. So guys, this internet is not to access the services on cloud or on the internet. Like let's say there is one user who want to access internet, Google. So this internet is not for that. This internet is to connect data plane and control plane, right? We'll integrate that internet later. Right now I am talking about the transportation WAN circuit to connect data plane and control plane. Means your WAN is routers to the controllers. Once we are done with this, the basic connectivity, we are going to learn the policies, which is the main thing. Like in guys routing and switching in the traditional networking, what we are doing? We are manipulating the traffic, influencing the path every day. In the same way, when you will go for job in the company, you are not going to deploy the SD-WAN, right? SD-WAN is already running there. According to the requirement of company, you need to configure the policies there, right? Like my traffic should go directly from one side to another side, or some traffic should go via data center, some traffic should go via firewall, some traffic you want to block. So those everything comes under policies only, right? So once we are done with the basic connectivity between data plane and control plane, means your controllers and routers, we are going to configure policies there. We'll configure many policies, right? Then guys, as I told you, SD-WAN is already secured, but we have some additional security features that we can use here for the security, right? After that, quality of service. Under quality of service, we'll see how we can prioritize some traffic, important traffic, how we can use a specific path, a specific WAN for a specific traffic. Then multicasting. So again, like in multicasting, you should have basic knowledge about the PIM, like about the basic multicasting. What is multicasting? What protocols we are using there? And then management and operation, where we'll see the troubleshooting, right? And monitoring and troubleshooting. By the way, we'll not have the specific class for troubleshooting. While deployment, while configuring, many problem will comes. Every time we will be troubleshooting the issues. See guys, we are going to do everything in virtualization, right? So definitely problem will comes. There will be issues. We will be troubleshooting it, right? Even you can review the topic in detail. Here you can click on review exam topic to see the topics in detail, or you can download the PDF. You can download the PDF. Here you can see architecture. Weightage of this section is 20%, right? So if you will go for the exam, in the exam guys, from the architecture section, you will get 20% questions, right? Under controller deployment, 15%. Router deployment, again 20%. Policies, 20%. Security and quality of service, 15%. Management and operation, 10%. So for the exam, architecture, router deployment and policies deployments are most important, because we are going to deploy controllers ons, right? But we will be deploying router again and again. Whenever your organization is going to add new sites, you have to deploy the router, right? So if you want to download the PDF, here you can click download complete list of topics in PDF. And guys, you should have the syllabus. Whenever you are taking training from anyone, not from me only, or for any technology, you should verify. You should keep checking, like we are covering all the topics or not. At the end of at the end of training, you should check that each topic is covered or not. If trainer is, if I will not cover any topic, then I will provide you video for that. I will tell you, please watch this video. This is a very small topic. You can cover it in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Please watch this video, right? But each and every topic should be very clear and crystal. Then only you can pass exam. Otherwise, Cisco is going to ask you very tricky questions, right? So now let's open each section. See under architecture what we have. Describe Cisco SD-WAN architecture. Now guys, what do you mean by SD here? SD-WAN means what? Software defined wide area network. SD means software defined. What do you mean by software defined? Anyone can explain software defined? What is software defined? What is software defined? Avik?
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by software defined?
Software defined means, sir, I don't have to run any commands automatically. Once I put it my routes in the, that is my WAN routes out there, it will automatically do the load sharing.
Okay, please mute yourself. I'm getting some noise as well from your side. Yeah, anyone else want to say something?
yeah, in traditional architect we have to change routes and all these things manually. But in software defined, all the devices are managed through our data center devices. So with help of some predefined command, with help we have to manage all these things.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody? Guys, see, first of all, now, why we come up with SDN? SDN stands for Software Defined Network, which is SD. So actually, network size is getting larger, right? And managing today's network is very complex. So we need more flexible solution, like automated solution, manage like centralized management, centralized control plane. In the traditional networking, what is the issue? Issue is we have distributed control plane. We have distributed management plane. Means if I want to configure ACL on 100 number of routers, I have to access all 100 routers of router one by one separately. The reason management plane is distributed. If there are 100 routers, that means 100 management planes are there. Each device has their own management plane. Same thing is happening for control plane also. But if network size is large, is getting large, every day see on the internet, many people are connecting their devices. Every day network size is getting larger. So managing today's network is complicated. As I told you, we need more flexible solution, like automated solution. We need centralized control plane. Control plane, management plane. We need automated solution. Automated solution means where we can automate the repeated task with the help of a script. Like you have one script for the specific task. Like let's say you have some script to configure the BGP. So we can create the script for one device and you can use that for all devices. That is automated solution. That's why we come up with what? SDN network.
So, sir, except from managing from the we manage all the devices, we will be doing manually also, right? Through
And
CLI.
Steve, yes, anyone want to speak?
Sir, I was asking that except from deploying from vManage, we will be doing manually. We will see how to do it manually through the CLI also, right, sir?
Yeah, yeah, correct, correct, correct. From the one single device, you can configure devices individually also. You can configure multiple devices simultaneously also, right? And you can configure devices like traditional routers as well by individually separately accessing each device and applying configuration there. Everything is possible in SDN. And guys, in SD-WAN, this first two terms SD define that this SD-WAN is a SDN solution. Is an SDN solution. SD, software defined, means a network which can be configure, manage and troubleshoot with the help of software. With the help of software is known as software defined network. A network which can be configured, managed, troubleshoot with the help of software is known as software defined network. And guys, in the SD-WAN, second term is WAN. WAN means what? There are two types of network. One is LAN and another one is WAN. So implementing network in a small geographical area is known as LAN, and implementing network in large geographical area is known as WAN, wide area network, right? It can be connecting multiple sites together. So guys, managing, configuring, troubleshooting wide area network with the help of software is known as what? SD-WAN. WAN means connecting or implementing network in large geographical area, and SD means software defined. That means configuring, managing, troubleshooting WAN network with the help of software is known as SD-WAN, right? We'll see the architecture. Don't worry. We are going to discuss lots of things about SD-WAN, about this term even. This is a basic introduction. So guys, under the architecture, as I told you, see, I have one architecture here as well, like this lab. In this lab, you can see I have some sites. Like one site is in India, one is in Canada, one is in America, one is in Mumbai in data center. And these all sites are connected through internet, MPLS and broadband. There are three transportation, right? So at each sites, these devices carry only data plane, and these controllers are managing control plane and management plane, and we are connecting control plane, management plane and data plane together through this transportation. So basic concept, or you can say the main concept of SDN, software defined networking, is separation of control plane and data plane. The benefit of separating control plane from the data plane is, first is cost, right? Now guys, this device can be cheaper, but if a single device is going to carry control plane also, management plane also, data plane also, device can be costly. Then centralized configuration. Why I'm saying centralized configuration? Because we have centralized control plane. So we can configure multiple sites from this central location. Then centralized management. As we have centralized management plane, we can manage all the sites from this single location, centralized location. This is the main core concept of SDN, software defined networking. Separation of, you can say decouple, SD-WAN or SD-Access or ACI. These all solutions are used to decouple the control plane and data plane, right? So if you are connecting your control plane and data plane through transportation, right, then what is orchestration plane there? This is a new plane in SD-WAN. So we'll see the orchestration plane there work like the authentication and NAT. It is going to carry NAT table as well. Hope you all are familiar with the NAT translation. Whenever you want to reach to internet with the help of private IP address, NAT is required, right? So orchestration plane where V1 is working and responsible for two tasks, authentication and translation. It will maintain the table for translation. So this orchestration plane is completely new for you. You know the data plane, control plane and management plane. By the way, control plane is the plane which takes decision, the main brain of device, which decide where to route the traffic. Data plane is the plane which actually forward the traffic, right? So we'll see here in the architecture section what is orchestration plane, what is management plane, control plane. Under control plane, TLOC, route, data plane, IPsec, GRE, BFD protocol. Maybe BFD protocol is also new for you. Then multi-region fabric. Describe Cisco SD-WAN edge platform and capability. Describe SD-WAN cloud roadmap. So these are the cloud solutions. After that, guys, this is 20% weightage of exam. Then we have controller deployment. Under controller deployment, simply we are going to deploy these controllers. So whatever controllers here we have, vManage, vSmart, vBond, and this router is for the certification only. You can ignore it, right? So describe controller and deployment. Describe controller on premises deployment, hosting platform, public and private cloud, installing controllers, scalability and redundancy. Configure certificate. So there are two types of certificate, root certificate and identity certificate. We'll see that. Device list. Troubleshooting control plane connectivity. Like now it might be possible you are thinking, Praful, how easy it is to make reachability between controller and routers WAN edge devices. But when you will start doing it, it is complicated because there are transportation, right, like internet, MPLS, broadband. So here we need good knowledge of routing and switching. Okay. So these are the two sections, guys. After that, C router deployment is there in the syllabus. You can review each and every topic. Under router deployment, you are going to learn describe WAN edge deployment, onboarding of all the routers, VH and CH. What is zero touch provisioning? Like the one of the most important benefit of using SD-WAN is, you know, ZTP, zero touch provisioning. Just think how difficult it is to add one new site in the existing network in the traditional networking. It can take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks because of configuration. But in SD-WAN, guys, simply you need to connect your device to WAN cable. That's it. You have insert the device in rack, connect it to power cable, and then connect this device to internet, your WAN circuit. Automatically this device will live. You don't need to configure anything, right? So we'll see how it is possible with the help of ZTP, zero touch provisioning. Data center and regional hub deployment. Configure Cisco SD-WAN data plane like the TLOC extension, dynamic tunneling, underlay and overlay connectivity. Underlay and overlay means the physical and logical network. Underlay means physical network. Overlay means logical network, which is running on the top of physical network. OMP protocol, T-locks, again T-locks. Then there are some protocols like VRRP, OSPF, BGP, AJRP. Hope you already know this. There is concept of VRRP also in your syllabus. So at any one side I have to install two VH or CH for this lab, for VRRP lab. Then describe multicast support in Cisco SD-WAN, describe configuration policy, features, profile, workload, fine. After that you have policies. So I already told you what you are going to learn in policy. See, by default, when we will configure this lab, you will see all sites will communicate directly with each other, right? Like side 1 and side 2 will communicate directly via internet, also through MPLS, also through broadband also, right? But let's say you want to manipulate the path. You want side 1 and side 2 communicate via headquarter, via data center. You can configure the policy. So we'll see how to create hub and spoke topology, how to create full mesh topology, how to create hybrid topology. Like some sites are communicating via headquarter data center and some sites are communicating directly. So those are the part of policies, data policies, end-to-end segmentation, VPN segmentation, topologies, configure SD-WAN, application aware routing. Application aware routing means for a specific application, how we can configure the policies, how we can specify a path, dedicated path, configure direct internet access. Then we have security and quality of service. So guys, see, IPS, application aware enterprise firewall, Cisco SD-WAN security features, URL filtering. So you are going to learn these all security features here. But what I told you, the basic networking means, see, here we'll discuss what is DNS security, how to configure it. But if you don't know what is DNS, then it is going to be complicated. So you should have the basic knowledge, like DNS stands for domain name system, which is used to resolve domain name into IP address, right? Then how to prioritize the traffic, queuing, shaping, policies, marking, TCP optimization, redundancy, data redundancy. And then finally we have this last section, management and operation. This one is very easy. During the training only we will be focusing on monitoring and troubleshooting. By the way, at the last we are going to discuss REST API also, monitoring, to monitor the how to automate the task. The good thing about SD-WAN or about the SDN network is, see, we have controllers. It can be vManage, vSmart and vWAN. First of all, why we have these controllers, guys? We have these controllers to manage multiple sites, configure multiple sites, troubleshoot multiple sites. So we need to deploy these controllers. Either I can deploy it on premises, on server, or we can deploy it on controller. After that, let's say you want to configure a site. So you are going to perform configuration on this controller, and controller will automatically push the configuration to WAN router, to the side, right? That is manual configuration. Then, you know, here, as these are the controller based network, software based network, we can automate the configuration also. We can automate the configuration also. So here in this section we are going to learn same thing, how to automate the configuration. REST API, monitoring, authentication, troubleshooting, reporting. So these are the part, guys, here in the management and operation. So hope syllabus is clear to everyone. Is it clear, guys, to all? Tell me frankly. Is syllabus clear to all what we are going to cover in this course? And additionally I will add some more topic here, but these are the mandatory topic. These are the mandatory topic that you have to learn to pass the exam. Otherwise you cannot say you know SD-WAN. Even if you don't have a knowledge of a single topic, then you cannot say you know SD-WAN. If you are saying you know the SD-WAN, that means you are clear and crystal with each and every words here. Very clear, each and every words. Any question? Anything?
Yeah, so at the time of lab, we got the access of like a firewall, even hypervisor and router switcher or routing router
No,
switches all this device.
no. Now let's talk about the lab. See guys, what are the options for lab? My lab is 24 by 7 available. It's 24 by 7 available, but this is time based lab for you. You have to first inform us, right? And you can use lab for 4 hours every day during the training, right? And doesn't matter where you are performing the lab, on your server, on my server, on the cloud, like, as these are the virtual, we are going to deploy everything in virtual. Guys, you will be facing issues, many issues, and every time you have to troubleshoot it, right? Sometimes we manage can take 10 minutes, 15 minutes after starting the device, because when you will start the vmanage, right, it will load the entire configuration in RAM. It is time consuming, right? So first option is my lab, right? I will give you one public IP address and your username and password. With the help of that, you will access my server, right? But before that, you have to inform me that you are working on server, because guys, behind me there is team who is managing everything, so that people can should not get latency. They can work on the server as smoothly. We have multiple options, but we have lots of students as well, right? The another option is you can purchase the hardware. You can install the lab on your hardware, but again you are going to deploy it in the virtual, so issue will be there. There also every day problem will comes and you have to troubleshoot it, right? But if you are going to set up it in your system, then minimum to minimum 62 GB of RAM is required, right? 16 cores are required and 1 TB hard disk is required, which is going to cost you around 1 to 1.5 lakhs rupees for the hardware, right? First option, deploy, set up the rack on your hardware. Second, access my server. Third, you can deploy it on cloud, right? If you are deploying it on cloud, you have to pay to the cloud provider. Let's say you are deploying on AWS, you have to pay to AWS. The fourth option is, guys, Cisco D-Lock. That is the best option, right? You can create one account on Cisco, then you can perform lab on Cisco D-Lock, right? But my server is 24 by 7 available for you. Just let us know when you are going to perform the lab and access it. On my server, you will find all the controllers like vmanage, vsmart, vbond. You will find the routers, switches, and I think firewall. These are the devices available on my server. Got it? So this is about the lab. See, if you are not performing the lab after learning the concept in class, don't worry, for next 1 week or 2 week you don't need lab. But after that, if you are not performing the lab, then guys, there is no logic of learning it. Until and unless you will not perform the lab, you will not check how the things are working, you will not deploy the controller, you will not deploy the routers, you will not configure the routings, policies, securities, quality of service, you cannot learn it. This is completely practical. SD-WAN is a practical course. So whatever things we are going to learn, we'll perform lab of that. Okay. Right. So you will have public IP address with your username and password. You can access the lab. See, everyone will have their own lab. You all will design your own lab. Right. Like Baldev will have their own topology. Avik will have their own topology. I have my own topology, right? So we'll not work on other topology. We'll work on our own topology only. Clear, guys?
Right, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Now let's begin. So first of all, before talking about the SD-WAN, I know SD-WAN is our course and you guys have enrolled for SD-WAN only. But before talking about the SD-WAN, we should talk about the SDN, because SD-WAN is a part of SDN only. And one more thing, what is the latest version of SD-WAN lab? So guys, latest version is 20.14. But I will not recommend you to work on 20.40 because it is not stable, right? So for learning, you should work on previous version, right? You can work on 19. This is the latest version of lab. How you will get the images? So if anyone is going to set up lab on their own hardware, request us. You can message it in group or you can message me in personal for the images. I will share the link to download all images at free of cost, including the serial file, right? Otherwise, if you have the Cisco Smart account, then you can download from Cisco website also. To download from the Cisco website, here in the Google you can type SD-WAN software download. Software download, this one. But to download the software from here, you need Cisco Smart account, and make sure if you are downloading from here, you have to use organization name. So whatever organization name you will use while purchasing the devices, controllers, same you will use while configuring the device, right? Like while we'll perform the initial configuration, we'll use same organization name. Otherwise your devices will not come up. Okay. So SD-WAN software, here you can see we have vManage, we have vSmart, we have vEdge Cloud. Why we don't have any image for vBond, guys? Anyone have idea? Why we don't have any image for vBond?
We use
Because
VH.
VH acts as a V-bond.
Yeah, we are going to use same image, VS image for vBond. Okay. So let's suppose I want to download vManage. So here you can see 20.12.4. This one is the latest version. Simply you will click on this download icon, right? It will ask you for the credential and then you can download it. But if you don't have Cisco account, no worry, you can let me know. I will provide you the images. Done. This is all about the lab, about the syllabus. Now let's begin our course. So guys, SDN. SDN stands for software defined networking. As I told you, software defined networking is nothing but the network which can be configured, managed and troubleshoot with the help of software is known as software defined network. software defined network. See why we need software defined network. Guys, as I told you, the network size is getting larger. Networking. Network size is getting larger. So see, let's take one simple example of this topology. In this topology, I have two routers at core layer. I have one firewall. I have two distribution layer switch, and I have some access layer switches. Guys, if I need to configure one VLAN, let's say, on these switches, how many switches are there? 5 switches. On 5 switches, I need to create VLAN. So I have to first access all the devices individually, separately, right? From my PC, I can telnet or SSH. First, let's say this is my PC. From my PC, I will access, let's say this is distribution layer switch 1 first. Then I will create VLAN. How I will access? I can access it through console cable. I can access it through telnet, or I can access it through SSH. Right? Then I will terminate the SSH connection. After that, I will access this switch. Then I will access their switch 1, then access their switch 2, then access their switch 3. This is what? This is distributed management plane. This is just because of distributed management plane. Management plane is distributed. If I need to create ACL on router, I have to access router 1, then I have to access router 2. So for all devices, for configuring these all devices, I have to access the device first separately, and then we can perform the configuration. This is the first issue. Even this is one site like this. If you have 50 number of site, then guys, it is going to be very complicated to configure one VLAN or one ACL, one policies, one routing protocol. Even if we need to change the IP address on one device, just think how complicated it is. At each sites you have around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 devices, right? And if there are 100 devices, that means 8,000 devices are there. Changing IP address can be very complicated, right? So we need more flexible solution. Here we need centralized management. Centralized management. That's why we come up with SDN first. Done. In the SDN, guys, from this single PC, from this single, now suppose in SDN this is your vManage. In SD-WAN this is your vManage. So through vManage, on vManage you will have one dashboard. From that dashboard you can view the entire network. We can access any device from there. We can configure any device from there separately also, individually also, or we can push one configuration on all devices simultaneously also. So that is centralized management, right? Then centralized control plane. The control plane is also what? Distributed here. So that's why, guys, we come up with SDN, software defined networking. Now if I will talk about the SDN, so try to understand. SDN, what I told you, SDN is an family. So under SDN, the most popular solutions are SDA, SD access, then ACI, and SD-WAN. SD-WAN. SD access. It is used to manage. It is used to manage campus devices. Campus devices means what? What do you mean by campus devices? Means your distribution layer switches and access layer switches. ACI is used to manage data center. And guys, SD-WAN is used to manage WAN edge devices. So you will have WAN edge device in data center also. You will have WAN edge device in campus.
It's not visible anymore. It's cutting or
Sorry? Hello? What happened? Anyone want to speak? Okay. So why you are running SD-WAN first? Because guys, SD-WAN is a
Are
part
you
of...
typing or writing something? We are not visible.
It's not visible? Is my screen not visible?
No, your screen is visible. Okay. Now it's visible.
Is it visible?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Great. So guys, why we are learning SD-WAN first? Because SD-WAN is a part of means WAN edge device. It is used to manage WAN edge device, and WAN edge device is in the campus network also and in data center also. After SD-WAN, you can go for SD access or ACI if you have interest in SDN network. Right? So if someone will ask you what is SD access or what is ACI, what is SD-WAN, say these are the part of SDN. And SDN is a technology. SDN is an technology which we are using for centralized control plane, centralized management plane, for more flexible solutions like automate the configuration, automate the repeated task. Automation is possible here because it is software defined network. And the controller which we are going to use in SD access is DNAC, digital network architecture. Guys, the controller which we are going to use here in ACI is EPIC. See, the main function of each type of SDN is same. What? Centralized management, centralized configuration, and automated solution. Same. But the controllers are different. And SD-WAN, the controllers here we are using is vManage. Manage, and vSmart, and vBond. We'll see the function of each controllers. So now here to manage this part of this network, we have what? ACI. Oh, sorry, not ACI, SD access, SDA. To manage this part of network, we have SDA, and the controller is DNAC. Again, in SD access, you are going to use one part of DNAC. Again, you can say DNAC is an family, SD access is an family member. Sorry, not DNAC, DNA center. Digital network architecture. Here also let me rename it. DNA center. So DNA center is a family. SD access is one part. DNA. This is huge, right? And we are going to learn SD-WAN to manage these devices, this part of network, right? So that's why, see, even in my lab, we need to focus on these devices, these routers. WAN is routers, and on these controllers. These are the important. Okay, and when you will learn the SD-WAN, you will see there are many more benefit of using SDN and SD-WAN. This is one example. Got it, guys? Are you clear with the basic fundamental of SD-WAN or SDN? If I will talk about the Cisco SD-WAN, Cisco SD-WAN. So SD-WAN, software defined WAN, wide area network, means managing WAN edge devices. WAN edge devices means is router. If I will talk about the guys Cisco SD-WAN, so as I already told you earlier, all devices was, all the controllers was starting from V, and V stand for Viptela, right? So Viptela was a company, another company. SD-WAN is a very old technology, right? But Cisco has acquired Viptela, right? And last year in 2023, Cisco have renamed it. Like in Viptela SD-WAN, we have vManage, we have vSmart, and we have vBond, right? Now Cisco have changed name from Viptela SD-WAN to Catalyst SD-WAN. Catalyst SD-WAN. This is nothing but the renaming. All the configuration, concept, everything is exactly same. There is no any difference. Exactly, everything is exactly same, but the name is changed. From Viptela, like Cisco thought that why I will brand to other company, right? If this is now my solution, we'll do our own branding. So they have changed the name of vManage to, anyone have idea? Catalyst SD-WAN Manager, right? So whenever in the book or anywhere, or I am seeing manager in the class, that means I'm talking about the vManage. Or whenever I'm saying vManage, that means I'm talking about the manager in Catalyst SD-WAN. If I will talk about the vSmart, so what is the name of vSmart, guys, in Catalyst SD-WAN? Some of you are already working on SD-WAN. vSmart is known as Cisco SD-WAN controller, right? Because vManage is for the management purpose, to access the devices, to apply the configuration there. vSmart is responsible for the control plane, for the routing, for the policies. So that's why here name is what? Controller. Now name is more clear with their function. Manager, who will manage all the devices. And vBond name in Catalyst SD-WAN is validator, because vBond is responsible for authentication. vBond is responsible for authentication and netting, right? Like guys, there is two terms in SD-WAN. ZT, zero trust. So if any device want to join SD-WAN fabric, first they have to authenticate from vBond. vBond is going to first authenticate the device which want to join SD-WAN fabric, right? So name should be what? Validator. So name is here validator of vSmart. There are two terms, by the way, like ZT stand for zero trust and zero touch. Zero touch means without any configuration we can live the device. Zero trust means do not trust on anyone. Like so, if in my existing infrastructure, if I am going to add one more VH, so guys, that VH have to first interact with your vBond, and vBond is going to authenticate this device. If see, two things will happen: either it will allow, either this new box will pass or will fail. If it will pass, then vBond will share the information of vSmart and vManage to this new box, to the new VH. It will authenticate the new device, then it will share the information of vSmart and vManage. Once this new box have information of vSmart and vManage, information means IP address. This is the IP address of vSmart, this is the IP address of vManage, right? Now this new box can communicate with vSmart and vManage. So it will form now control connection with vManage and vSmart. Again, these two controllers will authenticate. So those process we'll see later. So this is the new naming of all the controllers in Catalyst SD-WAN. Clear, guys? Clear? Any question? Any question, please? Or let me know. Say no, no question, all clear. See, try to participate as much as you can.
Yes, yes, clear.
Avik? Avik, am I audible to you? Okay then, let's begin. Now, one more thing, resource. So guys, we have one official book for SD-WAN. First of all, let me show you that book to you. And I will share it in group after the class. So you can refer this book. I will share it in the group. about the Cisco ISXC, about the Catalyst SD-WAN. Here also you can check the naming of each controllers. See guys, this is controller based architecture. The image quality is not good here. Here you can see Cisco validator. Validator is nothing but the vBond. Controller is nothing but the vSmart. And guys, this is not sure that you will have only one vSmart or one vManage. We can have multiple vSmart, multiple vManage in the cluster. Here also you can see the deployment, controller deployment, then large site deployment. This is recommendation from the Cisco. First you should deploy the controller, then deploy the large site like the headquarter, the data center, and after that deploy a small sites like the branches. We can deploy it on premises and on cloud. See, there are some protocol which we need to learn, like the OMP protocol. Anyone have idea about the OMP protocol? What is OMP protocol? What is OMP protocol, guys?
No idea, sorry.
Okay. Okay, do you guys know the overlay network, underlay network and overlay network? Tell me what is underlay network and what is overlay network? Underlay and overlay.
Yeah, underlay, it means suppose that we create a VPN tunnel between two, suppose that there are 4 to 5 router are connected between each other, and we created one VPN tunnel between router 1 to router 4, and we have to communicate whatever the data we have to communicate. So that data will be communicated through the underlay, and definitely the all the data through the passes from the all the 4 router. So the rest of the data which is passes through this router is called the underlay, like overlay.
Great. So overlay is completely dependent on underlay only. If underlay will goes down, then automatically overlay will goes down. Like let's say I have some routers R1, R2, R3 and R4. Right here, let's say I'm running 12 subnet, 12/8, 12.1.1.0/8. Here I am running 23 subnet, and here I am running 34 subnet. Guys, on router number 1 I have one LAN which is 10.1.1.0/24. Here I have one LAN which is 20.1.1.0/24. So for reachability between 10 and 20 subnet, what we need? We need routing here, right? We have to configure routing. Either I can configure static routing or I can configure the routing protocol. EIGRP, I can configure OSPF, I can configure BGP. After that, 10.1.1.0 can communicate with 20.1.1.0, right? And guys, for the virtual network between router 1 and router 2, let's say I want to create one virtual network, logical network over this physical network. This is the core network, physical network. Now I need one virtual network here between router 1 and router 4. Let's say I need BGP neighborship. Why? Let's say I need to exchange 10,000 prefix from router 1 to router 4. I need to exchange 10,000 prefix from, or 1,000 prefix from router 1 to router 4. But the issue is we cannot advertise it in the routing protocol which is running on the routers like EIG, RPO, SPI, BGP. It will be complicated to advertise in static routing. It is easy to advertise in the routing protocol, right? If you will advertise all 1,000 prefixes available on router number 1 in, let's say, OSPF, then router 4 will get it through OSPF. But let's suppose, guys, router 2 and router 3 don't have capability to handle 1,000 prefixes in routing table. These routers cannot handle 1,000 prefixes in routing table, right? And even router 3 and router 2 and router 3 don't need to forward traffic in this 1,000 subnet, 1,000 network. So this router does not need to install these networks in the routing table. So we need to advertise these subnets from router 1 to router 4 directly. What we can do, we can form a logical network here, tunnel. Correct, guys? We can form the GRE tunnel, right? On the tunnel, on the virtual interface, I can configure one IP address. Let's say 192.168.1.1, and this side IP address is 192.168.1.2. Both IP address belongs to same subnet. So where I have created this network? On the physical network, on the underlay network, right? This is nothing but the kind of tunneling, which is my overlay network, right? So guys, your physical network is underlay network, and your logical network, this one is overlay network. And SD-WAN is an overlay technology. Where SD-WAN works? On overlay network, not on the underlay network. But what I told you, for the overlay, underlay is mandatory. Underlay must be reachable. These two IP address on the tunnel interfaces must be reachable with each other, right? If router 4 will goes down, then automatically your overlay network will goes down. Correct? So SD-WAN is an overlay technology. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. By mistake, I have uploaded wrong image. Yes. Okay. Now, I have one question. And question is this. Let's say I have some sites. This is my headquarter somewhere. Branch 1, branch 2. I'm talking about the traditional networking. Branch 3, there is one remote site. How you are going to connect these sites together? Tell me first. How you can connect these all sites together? What options are there to connect these all sites? Site 3, and remote site. Guys, how we can connect these all sites together? With the help of service provider only, correct?
Right.
Yeah,
The
right.
MPLS,
Yeah.
MPLS or lease line, we have only two options.
Correct. We need service provider. It can be your internet, it can be your MPLS, it can be LT, Metro Ethernet. Many options are there. Many service providers are there. Both can have internet as well, ISP1, ISP2. Now, let's suppose I have connected these all sites together through two transportation. One is internet, this one is internet, inet, and this one is MPLS. Okay, as you all are working professional, tell me all the sites are connected with both transportation. Side 1 is connected with both MPLS and internet. Side 2 is also connected with both MPLS and internet. Guys, for the data reachability, for the data plane traffic, which service provider is going to be primary service provider? In most of the scenario, which service provider will be the primary service provider? Internet or MPLS? Internet or MPLS? Which will be the primary service provider? Like, let's say if data center want to communicate with side 1, in data center I have some subnet 10.1.1.0/24. Here I have one subnet, let's say 192.168.1.0. Here I have subnet 192.168.2.0. 2.0. Here 3.0, 3.0. So side 1 want to communicate with data center. You can use internet also as a primary, MPLS also as a primary, right? In most of the scenario, MPLS is going to be your primary service provider, and internet is backup service provider. The reason, guys, internet is public network, that's why it is not much reliable as MPLS. MPLS provides dedicated link between two points. Internet is an shared link. You can have the broadband, right? That is again the dedicated link. That is MPLS only. Right? So let's say here MPLS is my primary ISP and internet is my secondary ISP. Then how to configure the scenario? How you will configure the scenario? How data center and side 1 will communicate via ISP1? How it will be for MPLS over internet? And how it will shift the traffic if MPLS will goes down to internet? Are you going to configure underlay network? Are you going to configure overlay network? Tell me which configurations are required here. This should be my primary ISP. This is the requirement. You are the network engineer. This is my company. And I told you to configure MPLS as a primary and internet as backup. How you will configure? Guys, you can form the tunnel. We can create tunnel between data center and side 1 through MPLS, also through internet also. Do you guys have knowledge about the MPLS configuration? Like about the connectivity, internet connectivity and MPLS connectivity? MPLS is like private link, you know. You can say this link is directly connected with this device. This port of router is directly connected with this port of router. Here we can configure one IP, let's say 1.1.1.1, 1.1.1.2, and these two IP can communicate with each other. So directly I can run protocol here, routing protocol. Let's say I have configured OSPF. Then I will advertise this in OSPF. I will advertise this in OSPF. Both sides will have routes. Now these two sides can communicate through MPLS. We'll do same thing here also. Correct? Correct, guys? Now how you will integrate the internet? How you are going to integrate the internet here? Internet is public network, right? Here you will have different subnet, here you will have different subnet. Right here, let's say subnet is 100.1.1.0, 101.1.1.0. So you are going to configure one public IP address here, one public IP address here. As internet is backup, we can configure default route. Correct? Here also. Here also. Now tell me, can these two public IP address ping to each other?
Yeah, definitely. In this scenario, can we configure the IPsec tunnel between the two between the links for internet?
Yeah, for the internet definitely we will configure IPsec only. We'll configure IPsec only, right? How we will configure the IPsec? With the help of public IP address.
Public IP, right?
Public IP address on data center and public IP address of side 1. Now, once you have configured the default route, both can communicate with each other because internet router will have route. These are the public subnet, correct? Once these two IP addresses are reachable, here let's say IP is 100.1. Here IP address is 101.1. Once these two IP will become reachable, we can configure the VPN. We can configure. What is VPN? VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. Guys, always keep in mind, by default, two private sites cannot communicate with each other through public network. Two private sites cannot communicate with each other through public network. So that's why the technology which we are using to make it possible is known as VPN. VPN means I have router 1 here, R1, R2. This is side 1. This is side 2. Side 1, side 2. Both sides are connected through internet. iNet. Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So tell me, by default, this is what? Here, which subnet you will run? Private or public? Let me make it more clear, because these are the very important to learn SD-WAN. So what I am trying to say, let's say I have two sides, router 1 and router 2 at different location. Let's say one is in India, one is in US. Two sites. First understand two sides, then again I will come on this topology. This is the main topology. R1, router 1, switch 1, R2, switch 2. So guys, my question to you is how we can connect these two sides together, side 1 and side 2. We can connect it through internet. We can connect it through MPLS. So don't focus on MPLS. Just suppose we are connecting it through internet, right? So I am going to purchase connectivity from internet, yes or no? Means I have to pay to the service provider for both sides. Here also I have to purchase public IP address inside one, and I have to purchase public IP address inside two also. Correct? And as both are public IP address, 100 dot, or let's say 1.1.1, 2.1.1.1. So both are public, that means both are reachable with each other. That is responsibility of internet, how they are going to make reachability between these two public IP address. There will be lots of router inside the ISP, network, and all routers will have routes for these two subnet for 1.1.1.0/24 and 2.1.1.0/24. Now guys, my question is, there is one server on internet 8.8.8.8. Here my subnet is 192.168.1.0/24. Here my subnet is 192.168.2.0/24. So question is, can LAN user access internet? What subnet here I am using? Private. Correct? These are the private IP addresses. What subnet here I am using? Private. These are the private IP addresses. Correct? What is this? Public. So can private subnet communicate with public?
No, without netting, they not access
Very
this
good.
public.
No, right? Here we need translation, right? NAT. So what is NAT? NAT is a technology which is used to make communication possible between private and public network. Am I right? NAT is a technology which is used to make communication between private and public. There are many types of NAT: dynamic NAT, PAT, static NAT. In PAT and dynamic NAT, you can access internet. A private IP address can access public IP address, but public IP address cannot access private IP address. Means you can access the internet, but internet cannot access you. A static NAT is bidirectional, means you can also access internet and internet can also access you. That is fine. That is NAT. Technology which is used to make communication possible between private and public network. Now guys, done. Here I have configure NAT. Here I have configure NAT. Here also I have configure NAT. Now both sides users are able to access internet, but both sides are not able to communicate with each other. So tell me, can two private sites communicate with each other through public network? This is public network. Can two private sites communicate with each other over public? Again answer is no.
No.
Again answer
Again,
is
we require the destination. Like first we require the source NAT from public to private, and after that we require the destination NAT from private to public.
no. Then also these two sides cannot communicate. See bro, tell me how it is possible. Here which NAT you will configure on router number 1? Let's say there is one user 192.168.1.1. Here is one user 192.168.2.1. How these two users can communicate? Which NAT you will configure on router 1?
Source net.
Source NAT 192.168.1.1 will be translated into which IP address?
A public IP.
1.1.1.1 means you are going to configure a static NAT. Will you configure a static NAT? If you will configure a static NAT, brother, for the general employees, you need lots of public IP addresses. We use a static NAT whenever we have the server in internal network and you want to provide remote access. Like outside user from the internet should be able to access your internal server. Then we are using a static NAT. Not for the general employees who should be able to access internet. For that we are using PAT, port address translation. With the help of NAT, the two sides, two private subnet cannot communicate through public. Not possible. Through NAT, you can access internet and internet can access you. That's it.
Maybe we need to create a tunnel like to
Yes,
share the
that is the
private IP.
VPN. So what I am saying, whenever we need to make communication possible between two private sites over public network, between two private network over public network, we have to use technology called VPN. We have to use technology called VPN. VPN stands for virtual private network. Virtual private network. So VPN is a technology which is used to make communication possible between two private sites over public network. And VPN is what? Overlay network. Overlay network means it is going to work on physical network. On the physical network we are going to create virtual network, logical network. And guys, to create the VPN between router 1 and router 2, we need reachability between router 1 and router 2. So we have already public IP address, this one and this one. Both are the public IP address. Both are reachable with each other. So with the help of these two public IP address, here I can create one VPN tunnel. I can say your destination is on router number 1. I can say your destination is 2.1.1.1. Tunnel source is 1.1.1.1. Tunnel source, their on your own private IP address, sorry, public IP address. Tunnel destination, remote public IP address. On router number 2, I can say tunnel source is 2.1.1.1 and tunnel destination is 1.1.1. And after that your tunnel will come up. Your tunnel will come up. On your tunnel interface you can configure one IP address 10.1.1.1 here on router number 1. On router number 2 I can configure 10.1.1.2. Now you can ping 10.2 from 10.1. Why you can ping and how you can ping? Because your actual traffic will go via internet only. So how internet can process private traffic? See, when I will ping 10.2 from router number 1, source IP will be 10.1.1.1, destination IP will be 10.1.1.2. Source is private, destination is private. Internet router will drop it. So what will happen? Whenever router will find tunnel interface as exit interface, router will check the routing table to forward traffic to 10.1.1.2. It will say, oh, exit interface is tunnel 1 interface. So whenever exit interface is tunnel 1 interface, it will add one extra header called GRE header. It can be GRE header, it can be IPsec header. And in the GRE header, guys, it will add new IP header. In the new IP header, source IP will be tunnel source and destination IP will be tunnel destination. Then it will forward to internet. Now when internet router will receive this traffic, internet router will check what? Outer layer header. It will check, okay, destination is 2.1.1.1. This is the public IP address I have route. It will forward to router 2. Router 2 will see, okay, destination IP is 2.1.1.1. This is my IP address. Let me open it. It will open. Then in the inner header, it will see, okay, destination is private, which is 10.2. So only your edge routers are going to open the inner header. Internet routers will only open outer header. On the basis of that, it will forward the traffic. This is the concept of VPN. Right? Same thing we are going to configure here. Between data center and all sites, we are going to configure what? VPN here. Because again, in the data center, you have private subnet. Inside one, we have private subnet. So how we can connect two private sites through internet? With the help of VPN only. With the help of VPN only. So let's suppose here I have created one VPN. Before that, I have one MPLS link. IP address on this interface and this interface will be in same subnet, because MPLS is like direct link between two points, direct link between two sites. So you are going to run same subnet, right? 1.1.1.1, 1.1.1.2. I can enable OSPF. I will advertise it, this subnet in OSPF, 10 subnet, and this subnet. Then here I have created one VPN. On this interface, on this VPN interface, my IP address is 1. Here, different subnet 3 dot. This is the public IP address. With the help of this public IP address, we'll create the tunnel, and on the tunnel we'll run private IP address, right? Let's say 172.16.1.1, 172.16.1.2. So now guys, see, on the tunnel we are running same subnet. So here also I can configure what? OSPF routing protocol now. OSPF neighborship will come up. Now I will advertise this subnet in OSPF. I will advertise this subnet in OSPF. Right? So data center router will learn this 192.168.1.0 subnet from two sides. From MPLS also, from internet also. On both service provider you have what? Virtual network, overlay network. Now how this router in data center will perform primary and secondary scenario? If the AD value and metric is same from the both sides, then router will perform load balancing. Now tell me how you will configure MPLS as a primary. How you will configure MPLS as a primary? We can, guys, we can
modifying the AD value or something.
Yeah, we can modify the AD value, or we can modify the metric. We can increase some cost on the tunnel interface of VPN. On this interface I can configure cost 100. Here I have configured cost 10. Now automatically MPLS will become what? Best. So until and unless MPLS is up, these sites will communicate via MPLS. If MPLS will goes down, OSPF neighborship will goes down, it will start communicating via internet. This is the traditional routing, correct? Now guys, we have one more challenge here. in the traditional routing. This is the connectivity only. How two sites are going to communicate with each other. We'll do same thing for site 2 also, site 3 also, for remote site also. The another thing is how these users will access internet. How this user will access internet. Let's say there is one user whose IP address is 192.168.1.1 want to ping 8.8.8.8. So this time it will not use this subnet. It will not use this subnet. It will use which subnet, guys? It will use default route, because through the tunnel it will be receiving only this subnet, private subnet, and there is one default route towards internet you had already configured to make reachability between public IP address. So it will use that default route to forward traffic on internet. So side 1 users will access internet directly. Now internet is not secure. You have to place one firewall here. At each side you have to place firewall. Then only sites 1 user, site 2 user, site 3 user can access internet directly. But nowadays we need centralized security as well. Like why we come up with SDN for the centralized configuration, centralized management. In the same way we need centralized security. Means I have one firewall in the data center, and that firewall is common firewall for all the sites. Means if any user from site 1 want to access internet, first they have to reach data center through MPLS. In the data center I have firewall. Firewall will inspect the traffic. It will check this user is allowed to reach internet or not. If it is allowed, then data center is going to forward traffic to internet. In the same way reply will come. Internet will reply to data center. Data center will forward the reply to site 1 through what? MPLS. This is centralized security. Otherwise you have to install one firewall at each sites. Getting my point, guys? Is it getting complicated? So here I have one tunnel and here I have one tunnel, right? This internet is only SP. What is the difference between SP and ISP? SP is the service provider, ISP is the internet service provider. So guys, this time here this internet is not ISP, this internet is SP, which connecting two sites together, right? Now we can integrate internet here. I can connect internet in data center to one for redundancy, right? And these sites, site 1, site 2 can access internet through data center. It will forward traffic to data center through MPLS. Data center is going to forward traffic to internet. Internet will reply to data center, and again through MPLS only data center will forward reply to site. Getting my point? This is centralized security. So in SD-WAN we are going to focus on centralized security also. We'll place firewall in data center only. Now guys, tell me, can you guys configure this scenario like this as I have explained here, like creating 2 VPN and running OSPF routing protocol? Making it primary, backup, and integrated internet in data center. Hello. you can configure it or not. Otherwise, I will have one session for this topology configuration. We can do it in GNS3. First of all, whatever IS images I have in my GNS3, guys, same images you guys should also have, so that we can exchange the GNS file. See, SD-WAN is an advanced technology, the modern networking, right? It's not easy to learn everything. I'm saying real network. Data center, side 1, side 2, side 3, 2 ISP. You can change the symbol. Cloud, iNet, MPLS. I'm designing it for you. You should configure it. And all the sites and data center are connected through these service providers. This is my data center. This is traditional routing switching. Yes, so tell me, if I will share this topology, you guys can configure it or not. This is data center. This is side 1. Side 2 and side 3. And then in data center, I can have one internet. Let's say here 2 internet. ISP1, ISP2. So design this topology in your GNS3 and configure it. Now all the sites should be able to access this internet only. ISP1 and ISP2. ISP1 is again your primary ISP, ISP2 is your secondary ISP. Like side 1 user want to access internet, so they can access either ISP1 or ISP2, not this internet. And side 1 user or all sites user should be able to access ISP1 and ISP2 through MPLS if MPLS is up. If MPLS is not up, if it is down, then through internet. This is the scenario. Got it? So guys, in this scenario, we are going to install firewall in data center. In data center, only we will have firewall and all the sites will use that firewall. Is my screen visible? Hello.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah, great. Thanks. So guys, in the network, in the entire network infrastructure, we can have branch offices, we can have data center, we can have some services on cloud, right? Like some application, maybe your company have some application on cloud, some application hosting in the data center, right? And many multiple branches are there, and those all should be connected together so that everyone in the network can access the resources. Resources means your applications, your websites, your servers. It can be FTP server, it can be mail server. And the internet, MPLS, LT, these are what? These are the SP, service providers, which provides connectivity between sites. Here you can see DC or my private cloud. Okay, guys, is there anyone who can define cloud? What is cloud? As I told you, SD-WAN is combination of multiple technologies like virtualization, cloud, SDN. So what is cloud? Cloud means deploying something in air. Cloud means accessing or using the resources of others. You can be also one cloud provider if you have lots of servers. See how I am providing you lab access with the help of public IP address. I have my server where I have upload the lab and you are accessing it through internet. This is what? Cloud. So the other companies like the AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, many cloud providers are there in the market. These companies has their data center. Data center means one place with lots of servers. In the cloud there are two terms. One is reason and AG, availability zone. Means in one region there are multiple AG, availability zone, for the backup. Availability zone is actually your data center where lots of servers are there, right? So guys, this is, let's say, one AG of AWS. Lots of servers are there first of all, then lots of networking devices are there to connect these servers together, to connect these servers to internet, to secure it, for the traffic distribution, load balancer, so that traffic can be distributed across multiple servers. So lots of networking devices, ACs, servers, DC, generators, combination of these all things are called data center, right? And if anyone, any other company is accessing these resources, this resource of AWS, that is known as cloud. So let's say I have one application in my company. There is one application. That application should be reachable from everywhere across the globe, on the world. So either I can host the application on my server, we can connect that server to internet, but we need lots of servers for the load balancing. Guys, just imagine the population of world, and most of the people are utilizing 2 to 3 GB of internet every day. Just imagine the traffic hit on YouTube server, on Facebook server, Instagram server, LinkedIn server, any server. So one server, two server, three server, 10 server cannot handle these amounts of traffic. Lots of servers are required. So that's why cloud provider is there. We're saying, bro, I have already the infrastructure. Lots of infrastructure. Lots of servers. Just use my resources. Host your application on my server and pay to me. Whatever you will use, pay for that. So if you are renting server of other company, other servers, that is cloud. Correct. So let's suppose this is my network. Here I have some employees. My all employees are connected with internet. My all employees are connected with internet. AWS data center is also connected with internet. So if I am going to host application on this server, on the server of AWS, guys, on the server of AWS, tell me, can this client machine access this application from my office? Yes or no? Yes or no? It's depend on the IP address of this application. If the IP address of this application is public, then answer is yes. If IP address is private, then VPN is required again. To make communication possible between two private network or public network, we need VPN. So nowadays in the modern networking, you will have something means some application, some servers, some resources will be something is in your data center, something is stored in your own data center, something is on cloud, something storing in your data center is known as, it can be, you can say it is private cloud. right? You will have some applications, some resources in cloud. Cloud, if I'm saying cloud, that means I'm talking about the public cloud. The difference between private cloud and public cloud is guys, private cloud is hosting something in the data center of a company, right? Only the authorized employees of that company are allowed to access that application. That is private cloud. Public cloud, which is available for everyone, right? So if anyone have the IP address of this application, they can access the application through internet connectivity. So something is in cloud, or I can say on cloud. You will have some resources, something maybe in your headquarter, something in your branch office, and at the end, all the resources should be able to accessible from everywhere, from all the employees. So this infrastructure is exactly same, right? But earlier, if I will talk about the traditional networking, guys, 15 years back, we were installing or hosting everything in our own data center only, right? So data center should be accessible from everywhere. That was the requirement earlier. But nowadays, see, on the internet, IoT devices are there, mobile devices, campus networks, cloud, and all are connected with WAN, which is public network. Like this. Application moving to not one cloud, multiple cloud. First, from the data center, my application have moved to the cloud somewhere on mobile through public network, and now my data is moving to multiple cloud. Why it's happening? Because the network size is getting larger every day. As I told you, every day new devices, new IP addresses are joining the internet, right? So see this diagram and try to identify the issue here. These are the cloud services. Data center DC1, DC2, both DC are also connected. Then branches are connected through MPLS, ISP1, ISP2. Try to identify the issue here, guys. How complex? It is very complex to configure, manage. Here you are able to see only 3 branches. Just imagine the company of Google who have thousands of data centers across the globe. Company Amazon, YouTube, Flipkart, Insta, Facebook, YouTube have 1,000+ servers, data centers across the globe, managing their network, configuring routing, they are managing routing protocol, switchings, very complicated. So SDN is going to help you in these sectors. Peer-to-peer control plane. Anyone can explain what is the meaning of peer-to-peer control plane, guys? Anyone have idea? It mean in legacy WAN, setup, each device like routers communicate directly with all other device, which make it difficult to manage. All are directly connected with each other. All are exchanging information directly with each other. It's complicated to manage. It's become complex as more devices are added. Why it is complex? Because every device need to know each other. Every device need to know each other. Then only they can communicate directly. Where SD-WAN comes in picture to make everything perfect. Through SD-WAN, when you will learn SD-WAN, you will see we will have centralized control plane. One controller is going to manage control plane of all the routers, which will take decision, where decisions are made from a single point, and from there you can manage everything. What is the meaning of lack of application visibility? Guys, traditional WAN, it means traditional WAN does not give much information into how different applications, like let's say video call, email, these are the what applications only, video calls, emails, FTP servers. So these applications are performing across the network, very complicated to differentiate. Complex routing protocol, localized management. If you need to check, let's say you need to check the health of all routers. Guys, you have to first access all routers individually, separately. Then you can check the health. That is localized management. But if you have the centralized management, that means from one single point you can check the health of all devices. Not scalable. Adding new branches can be very complicated. If let's say I want to add one more transportation here for the redundancy, for the load sharing, it is going to be very complicated. It is complicated for even NOCs, network operation engineers. It is very costly as well. Evolution of the WAN. We'll see these infrastructure, SD-WAN architecture tomorrow. Here you can see. We'll continue it from the next class, from tomorrow. Again guys, tomorrow we'll sit for 3 hours and we'll try to cover multiple topics. Today I try to cover basic topics, and I have given you one assignment also, like you need to configure this topology so that remote sites can access internet through data center only, right? If you know how to configure the scenario, we'll tell you how to integrate the firewall here. That is not the big